Punishments do not work to resolve the underlying issue. Rather than making kids feel sorry for their action or helping them think about how to make amends for what they have done, punishments cause them to feel resentful. So instead of facing up to their misbehavior, they end up becoming preoccupied with revenge fantasies or thinking about how to avoid getting caught in future. To be clear, children should face the natural consequences of their behavior, but they should not face the arbitrary punishments. So let's get over the 5 best alternatives to punishing a child as covered in the popular book How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk by Adele Favor and Elaine Maslish. Number 1. Point out how they can be helpful. Children like to be helpful when given the opportunity, and so one of the very best things we can do to help them avoid misbehaving is to proactively providing them with something positive to do. So, for example, if we were in a grocery store in a situation where typically they might start to misbehave, what we can do is we can give them a task to help with the shopping process. For example, we can have them load things into the shopping cart, or if they're too heavy, we can load it for them. But we can have them practice their numbers by reading out the prices of the items that we are looking into the cart. The idea here is to look for some way for children to contribute to what is happening, so their excess energy can be directed towards something positive rather than allowing them to use their energy towards misbehaving. Number 2. Express disapproval without attacking them. It's hard for a child to do the right thing when our words feel like a personal attack. So while it is important that we express strong disapproval for their bad behavior, it's even important that we use language that doesn't feel personal. So for example, if a child borrows your saw and fails to return it, rather than saying, "You ruined my new saw by leaving it out to rust in the rain," you should say, "I'm frustrated and upset that my new saw was left outside to rust." The key here is to direct your frustration towards the behavior or the outcome rather than the child. And this is very powerful because it provides them with an opportunity to understand the consequences of their action and how these actions made you feel without putting them in defensive. Number 3. State your expectations clearly. We often assume that children know exactly what we expect of them, but it's very important to note that pointing out misbehavior isn't the same thing as explaining how we want them to behave in the future or how we want their behavior to change. So it's very important that we clarify our expectations. So in the case of the borrowed saw, after expressing strong disapproval for their behavior, you might say, "I expect when my tools are borrowed that they will be returned properly and in a good condition." Number 4. Show them how to make amends. Along with expressing disapproval for a child's behavior, it is also important that we provide them with an opportunity to set the things right. That way, after initial remorse, they have an opportunity to once again feel like a respected and responsible member of the family. So in the case of the borrowed saw that became rusty, what we can do is, instead of offering them an arbitrary punishment, we can provide them with the oil and steel wool needed. So if they put in the time and energy, they can fix the rusty saw. They can remove the rust and remedy the situation, and of course this is another excellent way for them being able to experience the natural consequences for their action rather than just facing arbitrary punishments. Number 5. Offer them a choice. Let's say a child is running around a grocery store making a scene and misbehaving. Well, instead of immediately punishing them, what we can do is we can offer them a choice by saying, "You can walk calmly next to the cart, or you can sit in the cart seat. Which do you prefer?" Devise a solution that works for both you and your child. Address misbehavior by allowing children to experience the natural consequences of their actions. But remember, it is also really important to praise children for their positive behavior. Thank you, parents, for listening till the end. Stay tuned.